everyone, and welcome again to one of my fly tying films. Today I thought that we would tie one of my old favorites, but in a modern style. And it's like a green butt, but I tie this one as a Seatrout Samurai to get it a little more bulky and with rubber legs that will vibrate in the water. Ay! Every time. Doesn't matter. So let's tie one of these ones. And put this one here. And first we will take a piece of fits tubing in medium that is a glow tube, so it's phosphorescent. And we will make this body quite long because the sea trouts take the fly mostly from behind. So I'm going to start with 3 centimeters on the body. Maybe I'll shorten it a bit, but let's see how it looks. Depends on how long the fly gets. And then as the front, I will use extra small in black. Fits tubing also. That is what I tie with. That is what I want to tie with, because I like it. And then we have this nice cut there, and we're gonna cut a little angle here so we can get the two tubes together. Do it like this, and then I put on the medium tubing on the needle. After that, the extra small, and then I push the medium over the extra small, and then I tie them together. Today I'm using a black thread because it's going to be mostly black, this fly. So black 12-0 SSS tying thread also, and I wind this turns quite hard, so the medium tubing will grab a hold of the extra small tubing. So no glue or anything. And then I wind my way down to about here, because we're gonna have a green little dubbing butt. First I take Mirage tinsel, if I can pick one, like this. And wind this on behind the thread so we don't see the black thread underneath the Mirage tinsel. And I go to about here, so I leave, here's about 8 millimeters for the hook, but that is if I want to shorten it afterwards. I cut it off a little bit in the end if I think it's too long. And fold it over and attach it. And now we will make a little green butt with SSS dubbing in Gaudy Green, because I want it to be a little darker. That makes it a little more discreet, because I will fish this fly when the light disappears, and before the light disappears, when it gets a little bit darker outside, and I can fish this fly all night. And just brush it out a little bit. We get this green, Gaudy Green bushy butt. And then I will use Gaudy Green as ribbing, also SSS braid. And cut that off. Tie it in on my side, all the way down to where I attached the dubbing. Let's twist it a little bit, like that. And we will use charcoal black SSS braid for the body, because it's meant to be fished in the evening when it gets a little darker and all the way through the night. And then I start to wind the body on and make sure that I cover up the tying thread and just wind my way forward. And this is a very simple fly to tie, because I will hide the front ugliness with a lump of dubbing, because this is a Seatrout Samurai, and I will tie this rather fat. Here I have some charcoal black and some GLITZ Gaudy Green, which I mix into the charcoal black regular dubbing, SSS dubbing. You just do it like this until you're satisfied with the mix. And then you just start to dub on. And the first dubbing I won't build as much as the dubbing that I will have in front of this. Just a little lump behind here, and then we attach it. And as you can see, we have all the way to here with the medium tube, the glow tube. So I want to tie the wings here and some flash, and then I will fill this up with dubbing and end this with the black hackle. So, and rubber legs, of course. So now I spin the Gaudy Green SSS braid, and I make a beautiful ribbing out of this. And 1, 2, 3, and I make a turn in front also, because it doesn't matter on this fly if the dubbing or the ribbing comes a bit forward, because we're going to cover all the ugliness with dubbing, so it's going to look nice anyways. So I'm going to brush out this little dubbing lump a little bit. Could have used a little bit more, but it's nice to have some that aren't as fat as all the others. So, but this will look fat when I'm done with it. So that's the Mirage tinsel, a little Gaudy Green butt, charcoal black body, and ribbing with Gaudy Green SSS braid and some regular black dubbing mixed with GLITZ dubbing in Gaudy Green. So now we will put on the wings. Now we'll start with a pretty fat wing first with soft hair. Now we'll use most hair in the first wing and try to tie it on as wide as I can. And brush away a little bit of the fluff, but I leave some to make it as fat as I want to. Then I put it between my thumb and index finger like this, and I look so it's quite symmetrical. And then I just pull in the middle, fewer and fewer strands, to get a little bit of taper on this one. So now you can see it goes like this. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And we tie this on wide. I press with my thumb so it spreads a little bit, and then a loose turn, and then I just pull it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hard turns. And then I spread it a little more if I'm not satisfied, so you can see it's quite wide. We want the fish to be able to see this fly easily against the midnight sky. Like that. And now I will take a few strands of Gaudy Green SSS angel hair. Get a little flash in the wing, but this is rather much. So I take away a few and spread them between your fingers like this, and then you put them on wide. Now it will be pretty wide on my side, and then I take it and I fold it where I see that there are the least amount of strands. So like that, I think it looks good, and you can put them where you want to afterwards before you are satisfied with how they sit. And just cut them off in different lengths. And now we will put on a nice black top wing. And we need a little bit of longer hair, which I think this will be enough. And this clump of hair will be a little less than the first wing to get the right shape of it, drop shape, and to get it really fat in the front here. And take away a little more of this fluffy part on the second wing because I want it to be softer and not as fat as the first one. So I do the exact same thing with this one. Look so it's pretty even before you taper it. And then you take your thumb and your index finger and you pull in the middle. And you take a new grip, fewer and fewer strands for every time you pull it. That makes it a good taper. And I think that this length will be good for this size. And I press this also because I want it to be wide as well. So just a loose turn, pull it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you check so it got a nice spread on top, which I think it got. It looks really messy and bushy now, but in the water it's gonna look beautiful, and I think that this one will swim really well. And I have caught lots of, this is the shape I want. It's already creating a little drop form because we made the wing so wide. So just cut away that waist. And here you don't have to be thorough and cut it close because we will cover that with dubbing. And here I put on some glue to attach the wings. Quite much glue. Don't want it to suck up into the wing, just suck into the strands where you cut it off because it will make a really durable fly. And you don't want to get glue in the wing because it won't swim as well if you accidentally get a little glue in there. Now we're gonna put on lots of dubbing here in the front, and I take a little bit at a time. First turns, we make as close to the wing as we can without bending it down. We want it to be like this, so it's free to swim wherever the current takes it, which I think is very important. And this fly has worked very well in my home river when I fished it a lot a few years back. So I will go down there and try this one if the fish still like it. I've caught some really nice sea trouts on this, not this exact pattern because this one is a Seatrout Samurai. It's like Michael's Samurais, but this is tied to be fat and chunky. His Samurais are slim and fast. This is slow and fat, kind of like me. I'm just kidding, I'm fast as a rabbit. Not. And then I have made this big lump here. I just brush it out as much as I want to, because I don't want to brush this out too much, because I want the fly to be shaped by the dubbing lump I just tied in. So I just make sure to pull out a few of the strands and see if it's quite symmetrical around the fly. Like this. I think this looks good. And then we just pull it back to see how it looks, and I think it looks really good. And this is how I want a night fly for sea trout to look. Fat, fluffy and bushy. And now we're going to add the rubber legs that hopefully will vibrate in the water and perhaps create a little bit of sound. And then I tie the first one in on my side with loose turns, because if I tie it in with loose turns, I'm able to adjust it the way I want to when it's time to fixate it. And I do the same thing with the other one, loose turns, and then I check so the ones on top goes just down on the downside on the wing. And I take these two in the middle and I hold them back and I fold everything back, and then I tie them all together, but I still use very loose turns because I want to be able to adjust them afterwards like this. And I think that they are a little bit up with this one. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. And this fly I will fish hard for the sea trout in my home river. And now we take some glue, because I didn't use any hard wraps when I put on the tying thread. I will fixate them with glue. So I just put glue on the thread and I still make loose turns, because the glue will do its job and secure the rubber legs like this. And all we have to do now is put on a black hackle in front, but first I need my felt pen, because before I put on the black hackle I put on some water felt pen that's doesn't get dissolved in water, but it's water resistant, so this will be black underneath. Now it's going to look a lot better when I put on the black hackle. No yellow chartreuse rubber legs will shine through, and then you let it go before it dries too much in the glue, because you want to see so that they are, yeah, pretty much perfect. And the two on top I cut off a little bit shorter than the two in the bottom, because the two on top will swim alongside the fly and the two underneath will swim underneath. So I think that they will create a little turbulence or vibrations. So these shorter like this. This is exactly how I wanted it. And now I'm going to take a black soft hackle and wind this on in the front. And then we will finish it with a green turbo cone. And just cut that little triangle as we do, and then attach it close to the rubber legs on my side like this. We don't want to go too far back, because in that case we can put the rubber legs out of place. So tie it in front of the rubber legs, and then after you have tied on the turns you can adjust it a little bit if you want to. And now to the Hackle plier and just take away the bobbin, and then I pull back the strands so the strands ends up on the same side, and I put the first turn as close to I can as close as I can to the rubber legs. It's a bit tricky with the first turns, but we're not in a hurry. It's better to tie it a little slower and get it the way you want to than to tie it fast, and you don't want to fish it when it's done. Like this. I think it looks really nice. I wet my fingers a bit to get the strands out of the way so I can lock in the stem. Like this. And then I hold the strands back and lock in the stem. 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. Now let's see how this looks. I think that I will fish this fly in the dark for big fat sea run browns. It looks good. It looks really bushy and fluffy, but when this gets in the water and all the soft materials gets, I don't need to use a big turbo cone either, because this is the smallest shape this one will have because of the lump of dubbing we tied here, and I'm very satisfied with that size. So the last thing we need to do now is attach a green turbo cone head in tungsten, and I will put some glue on the thread and then just wind it on and try to wind it on top of each other. And I use loose turns because if I accidentally go a little bit forward, I can push it in. The thread would follow the Niklas Bauer pike tube, so this should be good. Like that. And cut off the thread. Check it out. I think that this one turned out really good. Take it out of the vise and then you check out the width, and I think that is really good. So this fly turned out almost exactly as I wanted it to. And then cut it off. Save 2.5 millimeters on the small turbo cones because we want the green to be seen. That rhymed. That was not my intention. And you burn it down until the extra small tubing fits tubing presses up against the turbo cone head. And here it is. It is done. I think it went pretty well. I hope you like it, and I hope you try it if your sea run browns or sea trouts like chunky flies that swim very well and have vibrating rubber legs. So I'm gonna fish this one for sure. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you liked the tying, and I hope that you try this fly. If you like to fish in the dark like I do, I really love to fish in the dark. It's one step closer to excitement when you don't know exactly where your fly is. It swings through the water slowly and and you might think that your fly is over there or down there, and then suddenly when the sea trout takes, almost never where you think that your fly are is whatever. I'm not so good at English, but I'm trying, and I think you understand. And I will also write the material list with all the stuff I used in the bio for the fly, or what you call it. So thank you very much for watching, and if you want to follow my YouTube channel, that would make me very happy, and I would like you to click this photo of me here and hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get a notification, or watch another film here if you like. And yeah, again, thanks very much. Thank you very much for watching.